Welcome back to Max's Garage Mahal, and today we've done an unboxing already, and we lost some footage because this video equipment is really not doing the job, and I'm going to have to do a test review on it because it's cost me a lot of footage recently. And I'm going to get some pictures of it, show you what we've got. Great camera overall, but that has nothing to do with what we're doing here. I just want to let you know that we've unboxed it. We're going to show you the box that the rigid replacement battery from Biswaye came in. The order was fulfilled by Amazon. It was packaged very, very well. It was wrapped in bubble wrap. It was placed in a box that fits just right. It also had, to keep the battery from moving around, it had a piece of this real heavy foam. It also came with the requisite instructions and safety rules that you always want to follow. And as you know, at Max's Garage Mahal, we're all about safety. So Biswaye, you did a great job packaging the battery, and I apologize to Biswaye and to our viewers for the footage disappearing. However, this is the first time I've done the audio separately until this segment. So I've got the audio, and I'll go back and make sure that all the specifications and the way we found the battery is in here so you'll know what they were. But again, I want to go ahead and put this up here. You can see it. It is Biswaye's replacement for an R840087 18V high capacity 4 amp hour 72 watt hour lithium ion battery for the rigid cordless tools. And it really has a good fit and finish. I want to point out, and I always like to point these things out, the latches go down below the top of the battery, which is very important, because if they don't, you can't get the battery out once it's in. So let me show you where it's at. It's got an hour and 45 minutes of runtime on it already. And let me see if I can get you a little closer here. And I have used 1.349 amp hours out of this thing already. That's a ton, and that's because the way we're testing this battery, we're pulling the trigger on the tool, we're not releasing it, we're not allowing the battery to recover, we're just pulling that trigger and holding it. That's really hard on any battery, I don't care what it is. And this thing is pulling out, it started pulling out around 18-19 watts at 8 9/10 amp. Still pulling 8/10 amp. It's still pulling around 14.3 to 14.5 watts. That's pretty high, and it's still at 17.89 volts, which is great. And so far, really pleased with the battery, pleased with the fit and finish. I like it, and whether I like it or not, Biswaye, you already know that I will tell people what I find on these batteries, and we'll abuse them. You know, we're going to abuse these things, but while we're abusing them, we're going to be fair on what we find. So let's get back down here where you can also see the battery and the fan. You can see the fan is still going. It's coming up on 2 hours, so it's really working well. We're going to come back and show you how much amp hours is in this battery from the factory. It was shipped with 3/4 storage charge, which is normal, and which is 3 lights on your 4-light check system, and we are still on 2. That's great. So I'm impressed so far, but it doesn't matter whether I'm impressed, it matters whether you're impressed or not. So we will be back and show you what we're finding on this battery, and it won't be all that long, say another hour and a half, and we're going to run it all the way down. We're going to freeze this puppy. And you know me, I'm going to freeze these batteries when they're flat dead, then test them and see if they still got any life in them. Then we'll charge them and see if they'll come back. So stay tuned, we will return. Well, we're back, and we are at 4.624 amp hours on a 4.0 amp hour battery, rigid replacement battery. So let's get down here where you can see the meter. I want you to see exactly what it says. Check it out. 4.630 amp hours. Still pulling 14, or still showing 14.89 volts. Still pulling a 10.4 watts at 7/10 amp. And that's one pull of the trigger, non-stop. That is doing fantastic, guys. I mean, this thing is really humping over here. So, quite honestly, this battery is looking really good to me so far. And it's a Biswaye replacement battery for the Rigid 840087, and it's a 18 volt battery with 4.0 amp hours, 72 watt hours, and it's man, this thing is already, it's got more than a gas tank than it ought to have. So far, thumbs up, Biswaye. We're going to continue to abuse this battery, and when we get the thing run completely down, when the electronic overload says, well, we'll give you all we can, when it's dead, we're going to freeze this battery below zero. We're going to charge it up, and then we're going to run it down using some power tools. Some people are loaning me some power tools because I really don't have any for this rigid. So we're going to have to stay tuned on that. And if they don't come through, I'll find other ways to abuse this thing. I'll dead short it, I'll do all kinds of things to it. And not good for the battery, but what we want to find out is how much. Speaking of, all right, it's like 4.75 amp hours. I mean, it just completely gone now, so that's what we want to see. All right, battery's not hot. I'm going to tell you something, guys. So far, I'm really impressed with this battery. And let's go ahead and get the meter out here and see what it says. And it says if you can see that, it says I killed it. And I may have. All right. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put it on the charger and see if she'll come back to life. So it's still showing like 14 volts. 13, I think it said 13.27 was the high. So we're going ahead, we're going to charge it, then we're going to come back and see what it'll do with the fresh charge on it. And first we're going to make sure that after we freeze it, that it'll take a full charge. So thank you for watching so far. We will be back with some more information. Alrighty, boys and girls, we are back, and as you remember probably just a second ago, which was like 2 days or 3 days ago, I killed this rigid replacement battery from Biswaye, and excuse me, it's a good looking battery. It's got the rubber overmold on it, which I adore. I love these to pieces because they don't let your tools slip around while they're on an incline or something like that. And I ran this thing for hours and hours and hours with the trigger pull. Well, one of two things occurred. Either the board coughed up its cookies, or the battery just it didn't function, and it allowed the batteries to go down inside the these 18650 batteries to go down below their minimum voltage. And I found that when I got through taking it apart and checking it individually, they were down to like less than 2 volts a piece, which is really, really low. And that usually you can throw them away at that point in time. However, I have used the AED system here, which is putting together two 14.4 volt batteries. By the way, let me say this. Do not do this at home. This is like minimum charge is 28.8 volts. Maximum is like 32 volts. So I'll put 32 volts on this battery, on the positive to the negative, and I probably shocked it. It's like giving the heart a shock, you know, like across here in the heart ward and in the ER. And I probably shocked it 150 times, maybe more, until I got enough voltage up where the battery charger would start charging this battery. So we're going to find out if we can resuscitate and revive these batteries and get them to take the full 18 to 20 volts that it's supposed to charge back up to. And at that point in time, we'll find out if the circuitry inside this is still functioning. If it is, then I'm going to say that we're going to do some more tests on it to find out why it allowed it to discharge farther than the circuitry should have allowed. So I will also get back with the plant, with the factory, and find out if they can give me some more information on this. And I may actually ship this back to them and have them to test it themselves. And then they can give me their diagnosis as to what occurred. Then we can make sure that you have the information, because we need to make sure that when we are testing and reviewing these batteries, we give you the best information that we can possibly attain. At this time, I've got it back up to, and listen, I moved it from the workbench over there to the filming bench over here, and quite honestly, I think I'd already put like 2 hours and like 40 minutes of amp hours in it, so or 2.40 amp hours, and I'm already back up to 37 10,000ths amp hours, so that's not a lot. But we do have the voltage up to 17.92, which is quite a bit higher than it was, and it was like down to 10 or 11 volts, so we've gained 7 volts on it, and 17.92 is getting pretty close to the minimum of 18 volts, which is great. So these batteries that Biswaye is utilizing in this battery pack, they are fantastic batteries. I have to give them that. I mean, these things to sustain the injury that they've already sustained and try to make a comeback, then that is absolutely amazing. And again, no, don't you do it. Do not do this, and I'm not going to show you how to do it, but don't do this at home, because let me tell you what these batteries like this can do. Lithium ion, lithium polymer, lithium iron, lithium this and that. Batteries are extremely, extremely powerful. And this type battery right here, just one of these, this battery right here could burn this house down pretty quickly, this building. I'm sorry, this garage. I can't have a shop, and this is not a house. No one lives here. So the shop, the garage, that's it, could burn down, because these things, when they explode, they are so hot and so violent that it's pretty hard to put these things out. And you actually make charging stations for these things that are pretty much impervious to heat, and a lot of times they're like a zippered or a Velcroed bag, and you put your battery inside that. You put that inside like a concrete or a block or a brick type oven thing, and then you run your wires out through to your charger. Now what I'm using here to charge this up is this is a multi-phase charger. It'll charge NiCad batteries, nickel metal hydride. It'll charge lithium ion, lithium polymer, and a couple other lithium type batteries. So this particular battery is not a problem for this charger. It's actually made to do any of these. So right now it is putting in 13.89 volts. That's what's putting into this, and it's putting in 11.1 watts at a time in 0.8 of an amp. So it's going in pretty heavy. I've got it set here at 0.4 of an amp, and it's multiplying it up to 0.8 of an amp. So we're getting there pretty quickly. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to start walking, and I'm going to make sure that before I come back and put anything else on here, that we've got this up where it belongs. And you know, so I'm not Catholic, but it never hurts. And by the way, never failed to click your heels 3 times. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, here we are on the last video segment of this. This is unplug it here. Just to catch you back up to date for the last segment, this is a Biswaye R840087 18V rigid replacement battery, and it is a 4 amp hour 72 watt hour. It has we killed it, if you remember in the last segment, I mean dead, and there you go, we got it up to 4 lights now. So that means the battery's charged. Let's go ahead and see if we can tell you how many volts are in it, and we can do that real quickly right here. Let's see if I can do it here. Okay, you couldn't see that, and it's such a pain to get that to you, you really don't care. So what we're going to do is we're going to get to you over here where you can see it. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if it takes a charge through the charger here so that you can see the voltage. Set it on 0.4 of an amp going in, 18.5 volts for a 5S, and it's checking in now. It says it confirms, and here we go. I'm going to see if I can't get you a little closer again. And first you got to zero in on me. Then we're going to come down here where you can see it. There you go. We have revived this battery, so it's up to 21 volts. We have put a ton of charge in this thing, as you can see right here. Oop, maybe you can't. Get over this way. It is putting in 8.3 watts right now at 0.6 of an amp. And we've already put in 4800 amp hour. Okay, so at this point, and it says connection break, so it means it's full. And I'm going to go out here again. Here you go. We're going to leave this at this. By the way, let me do this. I really abused this hard. I pulled the trigger on it. I didn't let off the trigger until the battery was completely dead. We actually bypassed the safety on it, I believe, by running it that low. I didn't physically bypass the safety. I just run it until it wouldn't run any longer. And y'all were on film here when you heard it go out. So I've undressed the battery. As you can see, there's the clothing. There's the case right there. One thing I do like about this case, Biswaye, I do like this rubber overmold. It does not slip. I like that. I like the length of your screws. You got a good screw in here, and it's a good little Torx head screw. They're hardened screws, seem like, which I also like that. Not necessarily in plastic, but it's a good screw because it makes its own thread as it goes in. Anybody in the Little Rock, Arkansas area that would like to come and either be on a follow-up segment for this video for the Biswaye replacement R840087 18V high capacity 4 amp hour 72 watt hour lithium ion battery for the rigid R840087 it's not James Bond, it's actually rigid. So anyone that happens to have a rigid 18 volt saw or impact or drill or bandsaw or whatever you happen to have and would like to bring it up to Max's Garage Mahal, we'd welcome you. We will together find ways to abuse this battery even further on film and then get you a follow-up. So that's an invitation out there to anybody in Max's Garage Mahal's mob world here. And by the way, thank you all for being part of the Max's Garage Mahal mob. But come on up, we'll abuse this battery and give you a further update. But at this point in time, the 18650 batteries cells that are in this are outstanding. I'm going to have to give Biswaye 2 thumbs up for building such a tough battery, such well-clad battery. It's really, I mean, this thing is really a pretty tough battery. I mean, and just look at the works on the inside of this thing. I mean, this is some really nice stuff right here. So Biswaye, again, 2 thumbs up. We appreciate all of you guys coming by Max's Garage Mahal. Hope if you enjoyed the video that you'll subscribe. Also hope that you will give me a thumbs up so more people will see this video and others. And please hit that notification bell so we can send you further updates. Also, please share with others. And we do appreciate you coming by Max's Garage Mahal. Y'all come back and see me now, yeah?